Think I'm on. Think I'm on. It looks like I'm feeling on. Am I on? I'm on. I'll just say on. Check, check. All right. Hey, everybody. It's Mike Meyers. And welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Mike Meyers Ask Mike Anything live stream. Here's the last time I may say this. The goal of this live stream is to provide those of us who are isolated by the coronavirus an opportunity to continue our studies on CompTIA certifications. Now, here at the Total Seminars channel, we concentrate primarily on the A+ Network, Network Plus, and Security Plus. However, we are more than comfortable talking about a broad cross-section of CompTIA certifications as well as non-CompTIA certifications as well. So, welcome aboard. The game here is pretty straightforward. You ask me questions here in the chat window, and then I answer them. It's that easy. How much fun is that? Oh, we can do that any day of the week. Now, do keep in mind that if I miss a question, just go ahead and type it again. It's not that big of a deal. Also, some people are a little shy, and I understand that, or you may have a more involved question. If that is the case, then just send me an email. So, you can talk. You can send me an email here to my email. I'm michaelm@totalsem.com. If you're a gamer, I'm Senor Pepe on Steam, although I have not been doing much Steam lately, and I'm pretty much Des Weds at anything. Time for Mike's obligatory yawn on live streamers, because, you know, why the heck not? It's always fun. Guys, we're going to have a short day today. I'm going to tell you, a month from now, when I'm not being told what I can and can't say, you guys are going to laugh. You'll be, oh yeah, I remember, Mikey, we're all distracted and all this other stuff going on, da-da-da-da-da. And I'll be like, yeah, you're right. And we will laugh together, and we will drink, and we will sing songs around the fires, speaking of these days. But anyway, I'm all a little distracted right now. A couple of things I do want to talk about. First of all, I made a mistake on Monday. I didn't even know it until the guys told me afterwards. Basically, what was happening is somebody had a question about split horizons, and I ended up discussing VPN split tunneling, and I just didn't see the question properly. And if somebody tried to correct me, I didn't notice it until after we had finished the session for that day. However, I will tell you this, we had a great description of split tunneling. I think I did a beautiful job on it, but I didn't answer the question, what is split horizon, which is a very different animal. I'm sorry I missed that. So split horizon is a dynamic routing protocol issue, and it's something that we see in, it's an old RIP. I don't know, we have a number of dynamic routing protocols. If you take Network Plus, you're going to know all this stuff. RIP is the oldest. We have BGP, we have EIGRP, we have OSPF. Those are the biggies. So this particular thing, split horizon, is unique to a RIP routing protocol. A RIP routing protocol. So the problem is RIP was the first attempt to create dynamic routing protocols. Understand, a dynamic routing protocol simply means that if a particular route is broken, that the routers will, on their own initiative, route around it to get data wherever it needs to go. So RIP being the first attempt out of this back in the 80s, there was some mistakes. So one of the big things you want to avoid with a router, so let's imagine we have three routers, router A, B, and C. Got it? So we got A, B, and C. So what we don't want to do is create routes in each of our routers that create loops. Get the idea? So we don't want router A to try to get to router B this way, and then router B to get to router C this way, and router C to get to router A, and you end up having packets going around on forever, at least, or with RIP, they die after about 30 hops. Split horizon is actually very easy to understand. Split horizon simply says this: with a distance vector protocol like RIP is, the only thing you cannot do is when you advertise a route, ready, listen, you cannot advertise the route back from the place where you heard about that route in the first place. Let me give you an example. Router A, B, and C, okay? So here, let's say router B says, okay, to get to me this way, you're not going to go back and say to get to B because he's a direct connection. Equally, if C were to tell B how to get to him, and then B would then say to get to router C, go this way, your router is not going to advertise a route back to C going this direction. And then that way you can't accidentally create that loop. That's all a split horizon is. It's actually a pretty trivial thing. Sorry about that. All right, so a couple of things. We're going to be moving a little bit fast here today. I do need to warn you guys on a couple of things. Thing number one, and that is we have still not worked out a deal with CompTIA. I will be meeting with CompTIA next week, and we're going to have a great conversation. And I anticipate we're going to have some stories, and I'm going to be working hard to be helping CompTIA be motivated to keep passing out vouchers. So they're good folks, but you know, CompTIA technically is a nonprofit organization, but you know, they got to be able to keep the lights on, folks. And so we will be talking to them about how we might be able to help them do that. So that's number one. What was the other big thing that was coming up? Oh, so I'm gonna save that one too. So let's go ahead and dive in, folks. This really is going to be a quick day today. I do apologize. We will be giving away access to our practice questions, 90-day access. So bear with me. Okay. So first off, let's go through here. I'm looking on the chat window. Mine is still set to top chat. Let me get that changed to live chat. There we go. All right. Jared Graham is here. Good luck, Jared, on your Network Plus tomorrow. Mohammed, good to see you again, my friend. Will Shaw, always good to see you. Patricia Grace, what's the topic du jour? Today is just whatever's being headed my way, man. Pesticides have their... Okay, I'm not sure. Brennan, good to see you, Brennan. Roy. Roy, hello, Roy. I'm doing great, man. Good to see you. Andre's here, of course. Choco Taco's here. Tolowit, yay! Reaper 1776. Got to be careful with some of these names, man. Savage Cabbage. This is like Old Home Week. This is great. Good to see everybody. All right, so anyway, guys, we're going to make this fairly quick. Andrew Hutz, on a scale of 1 to 10, how cool is the Space Center of Houston? Well, if you're a space fanatic like me, it's an 11. So I've got a friend who actually works in Mission Control, and before Corona, she could actually get me in to Mission Control. That was really cool. That's not even Space Center Houston stuff. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Anyway, it is very cool. And Andrew, if you come down to Texas, by golly, we're going to get you over to Space Center Houston. So the other thing I want to do when Andrew comes and visits, which I'm counting on, is that we're going to drive out to West Texas, and they have a tank, a World War II tank called the M4 Sherman, which was a very popular tank used by mainly Americans, but also the British in World War II. And you can fire the cannon. Like real 75 millimeter rounds. Huh? Come on, if you're going to live in Texas, enjoy. Yahoo! Taste that freedom. All right. Bob Steve. Hey, Mike, I just wanted to say thank you for your course. Because of your course, I was able to pass my A+. I'm sorry, my Network Plus. I know a little odd. It is odd to do A+ after Network Plus, but a big part of the A+ is going to be easier for you because if you understand networking from a Network Plus standpoint, the networking questions on the A+ are going to feel like really trivial to you. Pronounce Reaper like the Grim Reaper. Thank you, sir. Choco Taco, you guys should come to Huntsville. I have been to Huntsville. I love the Space Center there. I also like the Redstone Arsenal, which is also up there in Alabama. Great stuff. Absolutely great stuff. Chris Kent, I'm here, voucher or not. Thank you, Chris. All right. Brandon, so is my job searching. I'm kind of confused if there is much of a difference between a security analyst and a security engineer. Yeah, I mean, they tend to do rough. Okay, first of all, there's no official job codes, at least in terms of the United States. There's no official codes. You could have a person making peanut butter sandwiches and have a title like security analyst. Analyst tends to be a more entry-level type title for people who are analyzing different types of security issues. A security engineer tends to be somebody who's designing something. They tend to work with like architects to design, proper, reduction of attack surface, that type of thing. So that there's no official thing. In fact, you can't even use those terms as a way to determine anything. If you're looking for a job, for example, you better take your time and kind of go through what they're looking for, because there's not only are they different, but there's overlap too. Andrew Hutz is coming to Texas next month. I did not know this. I'm happy to hear it. I've been watching too many Bill Burr comedy routines because now I'm talking like him. Okay. Mad Hack, what are your thoughts on Windows 11 versus 10? I'm numb with disinterest, which is sad. All right, Windows 10 to Windows 11 to me feels kind of like Windows 8.1 to Windows 10. Initially, there just doesn't seem to be that big of a change. As far as I'm concerned, Windows 11 is purely a interface tweak. I mean, there are some things behind the scenes, but nothing serious. So here's your ultimate statement. I have not upgraded any of my serious working for a living Windows systems to Windows 11 yet. Not that I'm against it. The upgrade's free, of course. I don't have any compelling need to do so. But I'm not against it. I've certainly been running Windows 11 on test systems, and it's been doing great. Choco Taco, as an IT analyst, I can confirm that is a nebulous title. Yeah, hilarious. Sarah Perez Anderson, this is at 212. What are some tips you can offer memorizing all of these acronym speeds for like Cat 1 through 7 and such? I don't like using mnemonics too much, Sarah. For me, the big thing for memorizing, you're talking about unshielded twisted pairs, so let's talk about that. Keep in mind that for UTP, you pretty much only need to memorize 3 of them, Cat 5 I'm not sure what test you're talking about. I'm assuming, Sarah, you're talking about Network Plus, but you don't say. So I'm pretty sure that would be just Cat 5, 6, and 7. Also keep in mind that your distances on unshielded twisted pairs is pretty much always going to be 100 meters, so that's pretty easy. The only time you run into some issues with that is if you're using some very advanced forms of Ethernet. And this is, in fact, there's my bigger concern, isn't so much for memorizing UTP speeds. It's for a lot of the fiber Ethernet standards. And man, I'd love to come up, and I should do this, or did I do this in the last Net Plus book? Like, do it in a more tabular format, LW base and all that stuff. Whoops, sorry. Sarah Perez Anderson, you have so many flashcards? Yeah, cool. Hey, when you're done with them, send them to me. I might pay you for them. Kevin Lopez. God, I hate to sound... When people talk about the Brooklyn subway shooting, is that Bernie Goetz back in the 80s? If something's happened here I'm not aware of... I am terribly not the person to turn to when it comes to current events. Tick versus talk. Can I ask you a question? What is the cause of still orange on Dell 755 Power LED? I don't know. 750. I don't even remember Dell 755s. Let me look that one up. Dell 755. Dell. That's an Optiplex. It's a little mini desktop. All right, so what's your question here, man? Tick versus talk. What is the cause of still orange on Dell Power LED? I don't know. Hey, Dave or Andrew, can we do a quick search on Dell 755 orange LED, see if we can give tick versus talk a easy answer? Win 11 TPM for the win. Well, you know, the other thing is you can pretty much turn all that TPM stuff off. We've now figured out how to do that. So I'm not, the concerns with Windows 11 requiring TPM2 and all that stuff, it's just, you can get around it. Bob Steve, am I working on any certs for myself? I'm not. Bob Steve, we got a bunch of stuff going on that they've just basically shoved a ball gag in my mouth and I can't talk about anything. It's extremely frustrating to me that I can't share a lot of very exciting stuff that's going on. And I haven't done diddly. Trying to remember the last cert I got was probably CYSA, I think. I got to think about that one, at least in terms of what you would know. Trey Dilla. Hi, Mike. I have an interview for tech support. Yep, that's what I want to hear you. Well done, Trey Dilla. Get a job. Are these motherboards? Yeah, these are mid-range motherboards. That's not it. I don't want. This is all Dave Rush's stuff. I don't want to mess with it. Yeah, these are motherboards. We actually sell to a lot of schools here in the United States, and I'm always glad to sell books and videos and stuff like that to schools. We get a lot of schools that they're like, no, we need the computers too. And I'm like, just go get computers. Just go get them, you know. My courseware doesn't require you to have a Dell 750, you know, I work with anything. But some of these schools really want us to like build. So we have the Total Tester kits, which are actually turnkey kits, and we sell them mainly to high schools more than anything else. And this is where Dave Rush, who's in charge of all this, he builds those up between orders. Okay, it looks like the Dell tick versus talk, bad motherboard or power supply unit. I'm just quoting what Dave Rush pulled up on a search. So. Reaper, well, he's new, but the important thing is you're here, man. We always love having you on board. David Gomez is back. Yeah, Jerish, I have everybody's emails from 2 weeks, and I apologize. It's just, it's a very, very distracting time. And Dave Rush, let's make a point. I don't know if we can do it next week, but the week after, let's have another big employment one. You know what? If you guys have any questions about getting work, like how to do resumes or any of that stuff, we did this about a year and a half ago. We could do it again. See if my buddy Jessica Dickerson can come on and help us out. Total Teaching Solutions Kit. Sorry, Dave. Total Teaching Solutions. So I can't do it next week, but week after next, we'll have a big thing. And Jerish, we're going to look at your emails and everything, and we'll get it there. Thank you. Thank you, Dave. All right. Guys, I really am on a short leash today. So ALU card. Hey, Mike, I'm interested in studying for the Security Plus, but I was curious to know if you think I should commit my time to studying for the Network Plus first. Well, you know, you got to keep in mind the Security Plus asks a lot of Network Plus questions where the Network Plus question isn't the right answer. I mean, for example, Security Plus has no problem talking about DNSSEC because it assumes you know what DNS is. I find that most people discover that taking the Network Plus makes Security Plus a lot easier. I've met people who can get away with it, so it's completely up to you. Hey, D. Schlick, good to see you, man. All right, guys, we will do it. And we'll put together another one of these big employment things so everybody knows where to go. So I'm going to have to break it out early today. However, what I am going to do is we do have a giveaway today, so let's go ahead and do our giveaway. And so we're going to be giving away, you guys ready? Here we go. We're giving away 90-day free access to the Total Tester practice questions of your choice on the Total Seminars website. So in order to do this, we're going to have a little competition. Now in this competition, what we're going to do is I'm going to put a multiple choice question up on the screen and you have to answer it. The first person to answer the question wins. Keep in mind that just because you think you're first, that doesn't mean that I see it as first or Dave Rush or Andrew or any of the other guys. So do keep that in mind. Also, it's going to be a multiple choice question, so don't type just A, B, C, or D. Actually write the answer. Oh, that's a really good question. I got a great question. So we're going to take a question from the A+ practice bank. All right. This is even 220-1001. You guys are going to, I think you're going to really like this one. This is one of these questions that's, you almost just kind of got to know it. So let's see what happens. I'm not going to make a big excuse. You ready? First person to type out the right answers wins. Okay, so let's do it. Here we go. There are only two issues that take place on a modern PC anymore that generate beep codes. So what are they? There's only two issues anymore that still create beep codes on modern systems with UEFI. Give you guys a moment. Let's see some answers start appearing here, folks. All right, so I definitely see some answers here. All right, so let's go ahead and answer this one. Select two, number one. So really the only official beep code is no video card detected. So when you hear no video card detected, it's that infamous beep, 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 beep. Okay, but we have to give it a second answer. So technically, if you really want to be tough, the only beep code that still exists is missing video card, okay? But there is another one, and that's what in here. And in this case, we talk about bad or missing RAM. Let me make sure I got this right. I get in trouble with this. Okay, A and B is correct. Woof. All right. So bad or missing RAM is the other answer. So it's bad or missing RAM and no video card. So this is actually interesting because the bad or missing RAM technically isn't a beep code because a beep code makes a beep and then returns it to the power on self-test. No RAM basically goes beep, 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 and it doesn't stop. So I can argue that that's not technically a beep code, but it's a beep code, and you want to answer it this way, especially if you see a question like that on the actual CompTIA exams. All right, so let's see who we've got for a winner here. We'll see if my support guys have got one. Okay, in fact, I am just going to go with Dave Rush and Andrew Hutz have determined the winner today. So our winner today is the man himself, Jenish Patel. I sent you an email 2 weeks ago. You haven't read it. Jenish, congratulations to you. You have won 90-day access to the Total Seminars practice questions of your choice. Now, in order to claim this prize, Janesh, you've got to jump through a couple of hoops. Number one, you've got to send an email to daver@totalsem.com. That's the guy right in here today, daver@totalsem.com. In that email, be sure to add your YouTube name, Jenish Patel, add your email address, even though you'd have a return, I still need the email address in the body of it. And then, Jenish, tell us which practice exam you want. And we will get that to you. Congratulations to you, Jenish. Well done. All right. I love that question. That's such a great question. All right, guys, I know I'm going to have to cut a little bit short, but man, it's the most important thing that's ever happened in my life, business-wise, is going on right now. I don't know what else to tell you about. It frustrates me. I can't say anything. You can tell I've been watching a lot of Faulty Towers here. How do you like my John Cleese? Yeah, all right. Anyway, listen, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go, all right? We're going to take off. Please come back on Monday. Come back on Monday. All the plants will die. Anyway, come back on Monday. We'll be back here with the AMA, and I am looking forward to seeing you guys. Until then, this is your Uncle Mikey saying good night. I'll see you guys on Monday. Don't forget, Dave Rush will still be on this Friday. Sorry, Dave. Right here on the Total Seminars channel here on YouTube, Dave Rush has a great show. Dave Rush concentrates on the Raspberry Pi. Now, you would say to yourself, who cares about a Raspberry Pi? Well, you should. If you want to have dirt cheap equipment that allows you to learn a broad cross-section of networking and system topics, why spend $800, $1,500 on a desktop or a laptop when you can do everything you need to do on a Raspberry Pi, huh? Anyway, that is Dave's channel. He's right here on the Total Seminars channel every Friday at 2 o'clock Central Daylight Time. So now I'm really out of here. Guys, love you to death, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.